The Alien franchise has always excelled in the cold, dark corners of space, where isolation and horror unfolds. But now with Alien Earth, the franchise returns back to Earth. And whilst this premise is quite exciting, it also raises some worries. Will bringing the xenomorphs to Earth breathe new life into the series, or will it risk the same pitfalls as past attempts to set the alien story on our planet? I'm talking to you, AVPR. Let's start with what I personally hope to see in Alien Earth. For me, this series has the potential to bring the Alien franchise into uncharted territory. Imagine the sheer scale of horror if a xenomorph outbreak hit densely populated cities. Unlike the isolated corridors of the Nostromo, Hadley's Hope, or Romulus, Earth presents an entirely new kind of challenge: survival in plain sight. Personally, for me, I'd love to see how humans adapt, both on a large societal scale and on a deeply personal level. How would governments handle this threat? Would we see military operations, or would humanity collapse into chaos as Weyland-Yutani inevitably tries to weaponize the xenomorphs? The moral dilemmas could add a layer of depth we haven't really seen before, further expanding the universe. And let's talk about the aliens themselves. Earth's ecosystems could inspire and generate new xenomorph adaptations. Could we see aquatic xenomorphs in the oceans, or ones adapted to desert climates? Alien Earth could expand the lore in exciting ways by exploring how xenomorphs evolve outside the sterile confines of space. Now let's move on to what some of the fans want to see. The Alien fanbase is one of the most passionate ones out there, and many are hoping Alien Earth ties directly into the broader mythology of the franchise. As I'm speaking, there'll be images of some that I found interesting from the fans themselves. Some fans are particularly eager for answers. Will we see the engineers again? How does Alien Earth fit into the timeline? And is it even canon? And most importantly, what role will Weyland-Yutani play at this time? The corporation has always been a strong antagonist in being cold, calculating, and willing to sacrifice anything for profit. But how will we see them portrayed in this show? Another big hope from fans is the inclusion of subtle callbacks to classic characters like Ripley or Hicks. No one is asking for direct continuation of their stories, but nods to their legacies could anchor the series in being a part of the larger Alien universe, without overloading it with fan service cameos. Okay, so I'm hyped, but at the same time I do have some concerns. If you've been following the franchise, you know that bringing alien stories to Earth hasn't always gone well. I mean, look at Alien vs Predator Requiem. Yikes. That movie had so many issues: bad lighting, a weak story, way too much gore over actual substance, and my biggest complaint, the tone was all over the place. It just didn't feel like a good Alien film. Here's the thing. Alien does work best when it leans into horror, isolation, and that sense of dread. That's what makes the xenomorphs terrifying. But when you bring them to Earth, there is a big risk of turning them into just another generic alien invasion story, like something like War of the Worlds. And don't get me wrong, action can work. Aliens has proved that, and even Alien Romulus had its moments. But if Alien Earth strays too far from its horror roots, it's just going to feel like another random sci-fi flick instead of something actually special. Then there's Weyland-Yutani. Yeah, they're a huge part of the franchise, but at this point, they are running the risk of becoming a one-note, mustache-twirling villain. I'd love to see a more in-depth, maybe a faction within the company that's actually fighting back against the shady stuff. Give us some nuance instead of the same old evil corporations wants the xenomorphs plot. My biggest fear? The xenomorphs losing their mystique. They are the scariest when they are lurking in the shadows, unseen and deadly. But if they're out in the open too much, they could start feeling like disposable cannon fodder. Like in Alien Romulus, we saw a whole bunch of xenomorphs getting mowed down by rain. Yes, it looked cool, but it also made them seem kind of weak in my opinion. I get it that it had auto-lock or whatever, but still, if Alien Earth does the same thing, we could be in some trouble. So yes, I do have some mixed feelings about this up-and-coming show. If they can balance the horror and keep Weyland-Yutani interesting and make sure the xenomorphs stay terrifying, Alien Earth could be something amazing. But if not, let's just hope we don't get another Requiem situation. Ultimately, Alien Earth is a bold and creative move for the franchise, especially since the mostly positive reception of Alien Romulus. It has the potential to explore themes of survival, adaptation, and corporate greed on a massive scale, but it also has the responsibility of staying true to what made the original film so impactful: tension, atmosphere, and the feeling that humanity is always one step away from extinction. So here's my question to you. What do you want to see in Alien Earth? Are you excited to see the xenomorphs finally back on Earth? Or are you worried it could dilute what made the franchise so special? Let me know down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe and share it with a mate. We'll be covering more on Alien Earth and everything pop culture as we get closer to its release. As always, see you around, Beyonders.